Today, you and I are talking about how to truly heal from anything. First, we're going to be going over facing reality, how to embrace solitude, setting clear priorities, and how to move forward. So the first thing you need to do is face the reality of healing. Healing isn't pretty. It's not all gummy bears and roses like everyone tries to make you think online. Healing is actually really ugly, and you have to face the reality that that is how it's going to be at first. That is not forever. That is just where you have to start. Healing is often messy, it's painful, and it usually starts when you're at rock bottom. It doesn't have to necessarily be at rock bottom. You could wait around for rock bottom, but that's usually where it starts for everybody. For me personally, it definitely started at a form of rock bottom, even though I feel like I've hit multiple rock bottoms. My main rock bottom was 3 years ago when I decided to become sober on New Year's. And that was the point that I decided I don't want to live my life for anybody else. I don't care about partying. I don't care about wasting my life anymore. And that's just where it all started. That was the reality that I had to face, but it wasn't the most fucked up part of my healing. Healing comes in waves. So you might start at rock bottom and you might go up a little bit and you might fall right back down again. But that is normal for healing. You have to face the reality that that is just how it's going to flow. The other part of facing reality is facing yourself truly in the mirror. And I think that's really hard for a lot of people when they are trying to change their life or if they've hit rock bottom. A lot of people struggle to face the reality of a lot of their shitty ass behavior. When you tell somebody that they need to face themselves and be honest with themselves, I often see them kind of like close up and get really defensive. And it's something that you do on your own time, like face reality by yourself. You don't need to face it in front of other people. I don't really think it's necessary to do that. Simply just like sit with yourself and face the reality. Like, I waste a lot of my time drinking and partying. I'm not saving money. I waste my money on bullshit. I'm being a fat ass. I stuff my face all the time. I don't work out enough. You need to face these realities if you want to change them. If you lie to yourself about your reality, then how are you going to change it? I even see this a lot with people who want to work out more. I've even had friends in the past who say they want to be healthy and fit, but then their daily habits are absolutely horrendous and they don't want to face the reality of their shitty habits, but continue to aspire to be one way, but continue to indulge in shitty food, not work out properly, not do what they're supposed to do, but then still whine about their certain circumstances. I personally have never really been like that. I've always been honest with myself about my reality. Like, I'm like, I love getting fucked up on the weekends. Like, that was so much fun for me. I knew what my reality was. I didn't live in some false reality in my mind. I knew exactly what I was doing. And because I knew that, I think maybe that kind of helped me have a better foot in the door when it came to healing and facing my reality, because I already kind of knew where I was starting from. Like, I was like, okay, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, and I want to do A, B, and C instead. So I was able to look at both realities and decide, okay, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want to be doing. I don't want to do that shit anymore. I want to be this person. And that's what you have to do. If you're not capable of facing your own fucking reality, then how are you going to change it? The second part of facing reality is there is a reason why you have to live through that reality. There's always a bigger reason. Unfortunately, the universe has kind of like a sick game that they like to play, but it's all with love, and there's reasons for all these lessons that we have. I think for me, when I look through all my trauma, I think the reason was so I can help other people deal with their trauma. I had to learn that my trauma was not going to be forever. That was not going to be my forever reality. And I accepted, like, maybe my reality is bigger than me, which is usually the case. A lot of us always think like really small of ourselves and really small in our purpose, but your life is so much more important than you realize. You just have to face the reality of the shitty reality, accept that reality, and then you can finally change your reality. Learning to accept shitty things that have happened to you doesn't mean that you accepted how you felt. It just means you accept the lessons. Every fucked up thing in my life has brought me here to this point. And I'm sure that if I didn't go through some of those things, I wouldn't be here. I'm grateful for all the things that I've gone through, some of them really shitty, but I'm glad that I'm here now with all that knowledge that I gained, even though, again, I didn't need to learn those lessons when I was a child. But here I am, grateful to fucking be here. Instead of always questioning why this happens to me, why is my life this fucked up, you need to learn to just accept things as they come. And later on down the road, you will actually see like what the purpose was. In the moment, it might not feel like there's a purpose for all the struggles that you're going through or all the trauma or the heartbreak, whatever. It might not seem like there's a reason. You might just be like, why is this shit happening to me? But the reality is down the road, in hindsight, you're gonna understand. So now that you've actually faced your reality, you need to learn to embrace solitude. Solitude is really hard for a lot of people. A lot of people try to cope and they try to avoid all their issues by going out and hanging out with people or becoming workaholics. Solitude is your friend. A lot of people just avoid being with themselves and facing their reality and facing who they are and what the fuck they've done to this point in their life. Learning to be alone is probably one of the most important things in your healing journey. Whether you are healing from trauma or you're healing from heartbreak, whatever it is that you're healing from, solitude is the most important thing, because you need to actually face those feelings and actually move through them, not bury them and then they come back up like 3 months later. I've had to push myself into solitude so many times to heal. The reason is because I know that if I just like distract myself or just go hang out with people or go become a workaholic, I'm never actually healing anything. I learned that shoving things inside, deep inside of yourself, doesn't heal anything, because that's what I did for the majority of my life. Growing up with all my childhood trauma and up to like 25 years old, I buried shit all the time. I learned that burying trauma and pain isn't any way to heal. You are just leaving it there for another day for it to arise, whether it's like something like overstimulating you or little things going wrong in your life, like your pant loop getting stuck in the door. Something is going to make you tick and make you fly off the handle because you have buried pain and trauma inside of you. And I've learned that there's no healing in that. Just burying things, avoiding them, not talking to anybody about them, not crying through the pain. In order to heal from anything, you have to face it. You can't run, you can't hide, you can't just bury it forever. You have to face that shit. Solitude is like scary for some people because they don't have like any solo hobbies, but there are so many solo hobbies that you can do by yourself to embrace solitude with yourself. Going for walks, working out, reading, writing, drawing, painting. You don't have to be good at any of these things. It is just time for you to be with yourself. Having solo hobbies is super important for your mental health. If you are constantly needing someone else's attention, or if you're constantly needing reassurance from other people, you don't actually know how to reassure yourself and you don't know how to give yourself attention. And this is where the problem lies. You are not embracing solitude. Solitude is absolutely necessary if you are trying to heal from anything. So now that you're alone and you're embracing solitude, it's time to ask yourself, what truly matters? A lot of people have their priorities all fucked up. What are your actual priorities in life? Your priorities are not hanging out with friends 24/7. Your priorities aren't doom scrolling all the fucking time. Your priorities aren't hating life. Your priorities aren't skipping your self-care routine. What are your priorities? Everybody should have a list of priorities that actually matter to them. Your priorities will keep you in check, because you're gonna go down this list of to-dos for the day and you're gonna realize, none of that shit is actually a priority for me. Why the fuck am I doing any of that? Prioritize the shit that actually matters for you and start focusing on yourself. Especially as you're in this moment of solitude and healing, you need to prioritize the things that matter and the things that will help you along your healing journey. You need to become your biggest priority if you are trying to heal from anything. If you are constantly worrying about other people, or if you're constantly worrying about people pleasing or doing the right thing for other people, you're not prioritizing yourself. Take out a piece of paper and just reflect on what your priorities are. Reflect on what actually matters to you. Everyone has a different set of priorities that they should be worrying about. For me personally, I need to eat healthy, I need to work out, I need to sleep, I need to create content. That's my list of priorities. That's probably not anyone else's list of priorities, but list priorities that matter for you and work your life around that, especially when you're trying to heal. If your priorities are all fucked up, it's time to reflect and see what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong in your life. You have to stop spreading yourself way too fucking thin in life, especially when it comes down to prioritizing yourself. Finding what your priorities are will help you get rid of all sorts of fucking distractions. That's what's helped me. Because I prioritize the gym, I'm not going out with people around the time that I'm going to the gym. Because I prioritize healthy eating, I'm not going out day to day to go eat with people. I also just like to save money. Saving money is another one of my priorities. So because I want to save money, I don't like to spend my money on stupid shit, especially going out to eat when I have food in the fridge that's prepped and ready to go. So it really just helped me prioritize like what really matters to me. And hanging out with people all the time doesn't really matter to me anymore, because I see how everyone else moves. I see what other people's priorities are, and I see that I do not align with any of their priorities. Who do you want to be in like 10 years? Who do you want to be in like 5 years? Write out the version of yourself that you want to be in like 10 years. Literally go into straight up details, like how you want to dress, how you want to walk, how you want to talk, how much money you want to have, where do you want to live. Go down that entire list, and that will show you if your priorities are lining up with that future version of yourself. If things are not aligning with the future version of yourself, Take that shit out of your life. Facing reality and setting your priorities is a huge step. Now you need to focus on moving forward. The past is behind you. You don't need to keep taking steps backwards. You don't need to go help people behind you. Keep moving forward. Focusing on the present is the most important thing that you can do right now, especially if you're trying to heal from anything. If you keep worrying about the past, guess what? You're going to keep living in the past mentally. Focus on the present right now. Future you and that higher version of yourself is not dwelling on the past. Future you understands the reason for everything that happened to you in the past, but future you has moved on. So you need to learn to move on too. Taking one step forward is better than taking 3 steps back. Taking one step forward is also better than just standing still. It doesn't matter if you feel like that one little step you're taking doesn't mean anything. It will all add up. You take one step every day for 365 days, you're 365 steps closer to wherever you're trying to go. The journey is challenging, but the view is absolutely beautiful. Yes, it's an uphill battle, but the higher that you go, the view literally gets better and better every single step of the way. You're not going to stop. You're not going to turn around. You're going to keep going uphill. It doesn't matter if you're taking half a step a day. Just keep going forward. Healing is absolutely an uphill battle, and I completely understand that it's not done overnight. I have been there, and I'm still there. There's some things that we all have to heal from on a daily basis, but it is not impossible. Healing is possible for literally everybody. Reality, acceptance, priority, and moving forward. That is the 4 key things that you have to understand for healing through anything. It can feel difficult, but it's absolutely not impossible. I've been there. Millions of other people have been there. We are all there at the end of the road waiting for you to catch up. If you want to share in the comments below something that you went through recently that you somehow managed to heal from and it wasn't impossible, I'd love for you to leave the comment, because somebody else out there is probably going through the same exact thing and they would love to see your comment. I know I would like to see it as well. I think it just helps us to not feel alone when we see other people are going through the same struggles or have gone through the same struggles and made it out to the other side. So if you liked today's video on how to heal, drop a little subscribe, drop a like, maybe a share, maybe turn on those notifications. I will be making more videos. They're coming out weekly. Podcasts also coming out weekly. I'd love for you to join the infinitely balanced journey. Everyone's welcome. And until next time, I'm Adelisa. Thank you for watching.